And it's my pleasure to welcome two very, very esteemed individual guests from the industry. So, with me here, we have Ben Steen. So, Ben, welcome to this webinar.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. And to introduce Ben, so he's a CEO of Double. Previously, it was called Keeper, the practice management software, the close management software built to streamline workflows for modern accounting firms. Before founding Double, Ben served as a CFO for a venture-backed startup where he managed all financial operations and experienced firsthand the pain of the month-end close. And that experience inspired him to build this tool that eliminates busy work and helps firms scale with confidence. And since launching Double in 2021, Ben has partnered closely with accountants and bookkeepers to design practical time saving tools and solve the real problem. So the firms can focus more on clients and less on the spreadsheets. And according to 2025 report by BusinessWire, 4,000 accounting firms and bookkeeping firms have been using Double across North America. So Ben, this is a great, great achievement, I think, within just 5 years, you have crossed 4,000, customers. So welcome to this panel. And then I would want you to give your opening remarks.
Thank you. Yeah. It's more than that now, I'll say that. I excited to talk here today. I think um, there's a lot like it's easy to look at Twitter or X or social media and think that like AI is sort of like if you haven't adopted AI in your organization, you're like so far behind. And I would say there's a
Mm,
merit of truth to that, or
mm,
there's a grain of truth to that. But I think there are some problems that are better fits for being solved with
mm,
AI today than others.
mm, mm,
And that's really how we've thought about it from a product architecture perspective is how can we
mm,
help firms take advantage of what AI can do to help their business get better without feeling like they
mm,
need to boil the entire ocean, throw everything out,
mm,
and then restart
mm,
with the bedrock of AI.
mm. Yeah, sure. So before we jump into the conversation, let me now welcome another guest, David Lam. So David, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Maanoj. Very excited for today. It's going to be a fun session.
Yeah. So to introduce David, so he's co-founder and CEO of Abacor, where he's building AI assistants designed specifically for the accounting firms, and this is going to be very, very interesting for the audience. David started his career as a chartered accountant from Australia and working with firms like PwC, Deloitte, Crowe, where he experienced firsthand, operational challenges in terms of um, solving inefficiencies that comes through the traditional accounting workflows. And then he transitioned into the tech, taking on the product leadership roles at companies like Amazon, Gusto, building products for accountants and their clients. That unique combination of accounting and product experience is what led him to build Abacor with a clear focus of solving real day-to-day problems inside the accounting firms using AI. And today he's working closely with firms to help them move beyond experimentation and actually implement AI in the way that's practical, scalable, and impactful. So welcome, David, to this show and your first response, please.
Yeah, thanks, Manush. I'm super excited for today. And just echoing Ben, I think like there's a lot of people in the world, even, accountants thinking, are they behind? Are they adopting all the latest tech? But, talking to a lot of firms are just at the beginning of the journey or unsure about where to start. Is AI just co-pilot? Is it much more than that? I think that's why we're excited to go deeper today and answer some of those questions. So thank
Mm,
you. Very excited to go deeper today.
yeah, sure. So to start with, before we begin, let's have one quick poll, for the audience, okay? So you can put in a chat, are you actively using AI? Option is A is actively using AI, B is experimenting with AI, C is planning to use AI, and D is still unsure. Okay, and we will show you the poll results in a while we begin the conversations here. So So Ben, here goes my first question. Is AI accounting is overhyped right now, or it is real, or it is more about marketing? What is it?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. The answer is sort of both. Like it is, in some sense, overhyped amongst the people who are going to replace people are going to say that AI is replacing everything immediately. Like you can just
Hmm,
have your
hmm,
Claude bot
hmm,
plug it into your QuickBooks file, and then that does your accounting. So
hmm,
I think overhyped by the sort of catastrophizers, but underhyped by people who think AI is just overhyped. So
hmm,
uh, so there are definite things that you can do today, whether it's
hmm,
in terms of like building broader context for your entire
hmm,
company, like what Avocor can do, whether
hmm,
it's like using tools like our AI journal entries or AI flux analysis or AI summarization tooling inside of Double to
hmm,
help with your month-end close. Um,
hmm,
there are real things that really work today to help save meaningful amounts of time and improve competencies across firms. And if
hmm,
you think that AI is just pure hype, you will miss that
hmm,
and miss out on the opportunity to save a ton of
hmm,
time and improve your work product.
hmm, hmm. And have you seen the real ROI from AI? Has it helped till now, in saving the time for accounting firm owners and really, kind of a focus them on advisory or stuff like that? So has AI really started doing the work?
Yes, it hasn't done all the work. Like some of the work
Hmm,
is like I think where you're at today is if you try to have accounting, if you try to have AI do all of the work, like 100% of the
hmm,
work, the amount of
hmm,
mistakes it would make
hmm,
would fixing those mistakes would cost you more time than you'd save by having the AI replace all the work. So
hmm,
where AI can take you today is it takes you from like the where you start to like the 20-yard line or the 10-yard line, and
hmm,
that can help save a ton of time.
hmm,
But in that sense, because you are still having humans work with these tools, they look much more like software
hmm,
tools than this
hmm,
like crazy AI. You like put your fingers in your ears and it does all the work for you. So if you're willing
hmm,
to adopt this like a normal software tool that like you have to learn how to
hmm,
use, you have to learn how
hmm,
to get value from it, you have to learn
hmm,
what works and what doesn't work and what AI is good at and what AI is not good
hmm,
at, then firms who do
hmm,
that are saving huge amounts of time and being able to
hmm,
reallocate their labor to much higher value purposes.
hmm, hmm. So is it a misconception right now that it will replace humans, or it's going to be real?
I don't so in some sense like it's a bit of a like a misnomer to say it will replace humans. I think yes, it
Hmm,
will replace humans in the narrow sense of like bank feeds
hmm,
replaced humans needing to download CSVs from banks, or
hmm,
like hand key in data from a PDF or a physically mailed statement. Like online accounting or accounting on computers replaced humans in that it took
hmm,
computers,
hmm,
it took like it allowed for electronic data entry instead of needing to handwrite entries into paper ledgers. So in that
hmm,
sense, AI will absolutely, it's sort of continuous with that motion of it
hmm,
will allow humans to do more pure accounting work and less
hmm,
like busy work and button clicking. But I
hmm,
don't think it fundamentally, at least the trajectory of the AI as we see it today, doesn't look like it's
hmm,
fundamentally replacing the need for an accountant
hmm,
period.
hmm. And David, you are in the midst of AI, right? I mean, you have developed a tool which is purely based on AI. So, what is your take on whether it will replace humans, or how it will aid and how much time it saves, really?
Yeah, we started August 2024, so right during this AI era, and it's been a fun just over a year building Abacore during this kind of like AI transformation. Yeah, but very similar to Ben. I think not necessarily replace, but there will be certain tasks and certain aspects of an accountant role that is
Hmm,
fundamentally very different. I
hmm,
mean, just
hmm,
just from like client communication, for us note taking, that was previously very manual. To like categorization, reconciliation, reporting. I think even just like yeah, all aspects of accounting. There's certain bits and pieces which were previously very manual, repetitive, maybe not so fun. I think a lot of those
hmm,
tasks, AI can play a very significant role. But we work with some firms. Just to quote you, like we work with a top 20 firm who basically mentioned to us they were previously paying about 120K for an accountant. 70% of her role was preparing meeting agendas, taking meeting minutes, drafting meeting minutes after a meeting, and a lot of that 70% of her role can now be solved with Abacor or automatically, and she's focusing on more higher value tasks during the meetings and actually actively participating, right, and delivering a higher value instead of just doing a lot of that manual note taking and administrative tasks. So yeah, I think the role of an accountant just elevates in the world of AI.
So this is the one dimension regarding the meeting notes, but any other dimension do you see in terms of AI solving the problem?
In accounting as a whole,
Yeah.
or with Abacor?
In accounting as a whole.
Yeah, I think all aspects. I think from back then, maybe more than a decade ago, when I was doing accounting, bookkeeping, a lot of the annual information requests, right? Like the information requests, information gathering. That process was so painful. On reviewing, what was done last year, what was requested last year, what do we need this year? I think a lot of the communication piece, like I said earlier, around emails and so forth. It's funny enough, the initial use cases have been email comms and note taking, like tasks that maybe you wouldn't think of like immediately for accounting, but those are true pain points. I mean, through when we started our journey, we spoke to probably about 200 firms before we started actually implementing any code, and one of the top three pain points for firms that we learned was, and we consistently heard was like, David, my inbox is a mess. Like you think you'll be like categorization, reconciliation, reporting, but it was just like, David, I can't keep up with all my emails, and how can I go through that? Like that was an interesting learning. Like that was something I maybe didn't fully expect, but not surprised. So I think there's all use cases from like information collection to sending to drafting and sending out the deliverables.
And Ben, coming to you, so I'm sure there's a lot of hype is about the AI is there from last about 12 to 18 months, right? I mean, it's there before also, but to be very specific, from the last 12 to 18 months. So do you think anything has moved in the last 12 months from really experimental to something reliable, whether it comes to bookkeeping automation or work papers or any of the real accounting stuff, in your experience?
Yeah, I'll give a perfect example here. So we have had two tools for the last year that have been in various stages of sort of private alpha to public beta. One is our AI journal entries product that essentially lets you give our product give it a document, describe the document as a prompt, and then we'll turn that into a journal entry. And it can be super complex, like payroll allocations. We're going to put 30% of this person's salary into this bucket of expense, and 20% of this person's benefits into this expense. So you can get a really complicated process from a document plus a prompt into a journal entry. Another one would be our AI. I call it our fix this rec button, but it's essentially an AI tool that if you can't get a rec to tie in QuickBooks, it will review the data that's in the ledger. It will cross-compare that against the data that's in the statement, and then it will return the reconciliation discrepancies, essentially the issues that are preventing that reconciliation from tying. And we've had the actual like underlying code that basically runs all this stuff for like a year and a half. But basically what's changed is the models have gotten smarter. And so as the models have gotten smarter, these things went from mostly not working to mostly working. So as you get to really competent AI, the same exact code, like literally with no functional changes in the harness that this thing is sitting in, goes from not working to working. And that's what we've seen with our AI-enabled product services.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is a good example. And how has AI helped in when it comes to practice management? Because you are in the thick and thin of that. So tell me a little about AI in the practice management, how it has helped.
Yeah, I think the AI and practice management side is like it's maybe a little less clear because a lot of what practice management involves is like the high level bird's eye view of what's going on. And
Hmm,
so, in some sense, AI has helped with practice management in that it has helped our engineers ship more code faster, which has helped us ship
hmm,
more practice management tooling that has that's valuable for firms. I'll say another thing
hmm,
that we're sort of looking into, working on. I expect we'll have more functionality like this in the coming
hmm,
quarters.
hmm,
Um, is the rise of MCP servers, which
hmm,
just lets you ask super high level free form queries. And then
hmm,
the AI will sort of formulate that into a thing, into a way that it can talk to an MCP server, and then come back with data and responses in a chat style experience that customers are already familiar with. So that's I think
hmm,
one measure in which practice management's getting easier. Um, but yeah, I would say that the like AI on all of practice management is a little less clear.
hmm, hmm. And when it comes to your product, specifically Double, right? So what are those AI features has really helped to scale the product well?
Yeah, so basically the way we think about it is like there are manual tasks, and these manual
Hmm,
tasks can be replaced fully with AI. And some things
hmm,
work really well today in terms of
hmm,
being replaced by AI. Some things don't work really well by in being replaced by AI.
hmm,
So the places where we have AI, we have our AI journal entries product, which I've already described, our
hmm,
AI reconciliation product that I've already described, an AI
hmm,
executive summary product for writing, basically summarizing an entire business's last month, and then writing a
hmm,
2 to 3 sentence summary for the business as part of their
hmm,
financial package.
hmm,
We
hmm,
have an AI flux analysis product that
hmm,
replaces the process of manually review. It doesn't
hmm,
replace completely, but improves the process of
hmm,
manual review of the P&L and balance
hmm,
sheet by pulling
hmm,
out here's what happened at every material change for every account automatically
hmm,
and right next to your financials, rather than you
hmm,
needing to manually drill into each of those.
hmm,
And so those basically all work really well because they're taking this like hard thinking problem and turning it
hmm,
into like we've done the
hmm,
thinking for you. Places
hmm,
where that doesn't necessarily work so well today, we also of course have
hmm,
our AI bank feeds product. But places
hmm,
where that like doesn't work as well today is our final or like our transaction review data, where
hmm,
there's already way like basically what those are already doing is it's pulling exceptions for you. And
hmm,
like, yeah, you could have the AI review the exception, but like
hmm,
fundamentally, you want exception reporting so that you can actually have a sense of what's happening in the data and what a human wants to review. So in that sense,
hmm,
the
hmm,
review, like the core transaction review workflows have been less effective.
hmm, hmm. And do you see, I've been reading a lot of reports regarding this agentic AI coming, and in between they say that they can replace maybe Salesforce or HubSpot and stuff like that. Do you see that threat coming in practice management or maybe the close management softwares that you are running? Maybe agentic AI just comes outside and then wipes it away. So is this a real threat?
Yeah, I'd say right now it feels more theoretical. That doesn't make it wrong, but I would say it
Okay.
feels more
Hmm,
theoretical.
hmm,
Like,
hmm,
I think the example I've been using a lot uh, is do you know Cintas? Have you ever heard of this business?
hmm. Which one?
Cintas, Cintas.
Hmm, hmm,
So Cintas is an $80 billion business and they do laundry.
hmm,
That's their business. They
hmm,
go to an auto body shop, they pick up all the uniforms,
hmm,
they launder the uniforms, they fold the uniforms, they keep them organized, they bring it back. This is a
hmm,
business you would think would be completely disrupted by the existence of washing machines. Because okay, if you can like go do your own laundry with your own washing machine that costs, I don't know, $1,000, why do you need
uh,
Cintas? And it turns
hmm,
out there's an $80 billion business to be built in
hmm,
just dealing with the schlep of
hmm,
getting the clothes cleaned and back, and you not needing to worry about that. And I think
hmm,
software is broadly pretty similar. Like if
hmm,
you told me we spend about $100,000 a year on our Salesforce bill, if you told me I
hmm,
could replace that entirely with some other
hmm,
product that was identical in every way, but it cost
hmm,
1/10 of the price, I wouldn't do it.
hmm,
Because
hmm,
the prospect of switching my CRM, rewriting all the automations that I've written in my CRM, reconnecting all the integrations I've connected to that CRM for other external
mm,
systems, and
mm,
then training my entire team on some
mm,
new piece of software that's like maybe it's virtually identical, but it's got some slight nuances, is
mm,
not worth $100,000 to me. Like
mm,
Salesforce, as long as businesses that have humans exist,
mm,
Salesforce is not going
mm,
anywhere. And even when
mm,
most of those jobs are replaced by agents, like quite
mm,
possibly Salesforce is not going anywhere because the cost of switching is too high relative to the
mm,
value, like the actual dollar savings you would get. Sales
mm,
software is expensive. It's not that expensive. Humans are really
mm,
expensive. Like I could
mm,
hire one more or fewer random like person on our
mm,
customer success or our sales team, and that's the price of my
mm,
Salesforce, and that's way
mm,
more flexible. Um,
mm,
so there's a world where like
mm,
it's past what I call the AI event horizon, where Salesforce is no longer necessary, but that world is very deeply unpredictable. I'm not willing to speculate
mm,
on it. What I can say is in the
mm,
local timeline, I don't see people vibe coding replacements to Salesforce.
mm. True that, yeah. And coming to you, David, so now uh, you have this automation of meeting notes or whatever
Mm.
category you call a Becor as, right? I mean, there are a lot of practice management softwares which does the client communication. Okay, there are a lot of note takers which does the summarization of the note taking and all that. So, where do you see, what problems would Abacor solve, and where do you see yourself in the whole chain of these different tools available?
Yeah, no, great question. And happy to share more on like how we even landed here and like what we saw. I mean, we saw a lot over the last year or two. One of the
Mm,
newest tools that an accounting firm would add to their tech stack would be a note taker, actually, like a meeting assistant.
mm,
But maybe
mm,
more the horizontal and generic tools, like the Fireflies and Fathoms and Otters of the
mm,
world, um,
mm,
which told us a lot, right? Which told us that
mm,
accountants hate note taking, but accountants were willing to pay and find a solution to solve that
mm,
problem. But was using a solution maybe not purpose built for accountants
mm,
and the industry as a whole. So yeah, we took
mm,
that insight and yeah, really built a vertical specific solution. And funnily enough, like the insight was, we actually
mm,
sat down with the top 100 firm with the chief digital officer that basically mentioned they were paying about $60,000 a year for Fireflies. And then they
mm,
were paying an additional software engineer to pipe the notes into their practice management solution. So that
mm,
was like the light bulb moment for us and the
mm,
aha
mm,
moment where it was like, hey, we could do this. We can integrate with practice management solutions, and we have.
mm,
We're live with Double now, and a lot of our mutual customers with Double are pretty mind blown, right? They're like, oh wow, this is
mm,
possible. Like,
mm,
a lot of that has just been over the last year of like you
mm,
can go from meeting notes to automatically populating Double action
mm,
items, tasks, meeting notes, and everything like that, which is amazing. Um,
mm,
but yeah, that was the insight. And to make it also very accountant specific,
mm,
we also have very specific accounting insights as well, which
mm,
makes it very different to just the normal generic note taker. Like after a
mm,
meeting, we have notes segmented into assets, liabilities, equity, tax planning, taxable income, tax deductions,
mm,
information requested, risk and concerns from clients. It's much more than note taking now, and we're seeing firms do really creative stuff like generating SOPs, creating engagement
mm,
letters, statement of works,
mm,
proposals
mm,
from the context you capture in meetings. So yeah, it's really
mm,
fascinating times, and I'd say those are some of the ways we differentiate from some of the general tools.
mm, mm, mm. And today what happens with the every week there are few AI tools getting launched, right? I mean, and I see that a lot of people, our customers and prospects and everybody who we speak to, are pretty much confused as to we don't know what to use, what not to use, because previously it started with there was a document management software, and then was practice management software, and then there was a client communication. Now all are intermingled. Document management guys
Mm,
have started doing practice management guys have started doing communication with the clients, and then they are starting to become whole. And then a specialty product like a meeting note taker or a Rebecor or very specialized product coming. So, how do a firm owners go to select a tool that what really uh,
Mm.
is going to be helping me saving my time and stuff like that, because you have to understand from the firm owner's place that if they're running the firm, they are meeting tax deadlines and stuff like that, and on the top of it there's a every week there's a new tools coming. So what is your advice, David, to these firm owners, how they should
Yeah,
look at
great.
this entire AI tools?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our early conversations with firms was actually we consistently got a quote like, David, I don't want a tech stack, I just want one stack. Like we heard that consistently, and yeah, I think it's
That's a
it's
good
really
one.
awesome. It's
Uh,
really awesome to see, tools like what Double and other practice management is really expanding to like multi-product solutions, and I think that
mm,
helps a lot of
mm,
firms, right? Just pick one solution
mm,
and it
mm,
can kind of do everything. And I think my advice is like, I don't think there's I think there's a point of just pausing. I think there's no need to rush into the latest and greatest tool. I think really pausing and reflecting on like where the pain points that I'm having within my firm, where are the opportunities, and where are the
mm,
gaps? Like, where are the
mm,
gaps
mm,
can I potentially fill with
mm,
technology? I think another interesting question, and we apply this as a tech company every day, is like whenever I may
mm,
be looking to hire, right? Like, the immediate question is like, how can AI help in this situation, or how can I,
mm,
leverage technology? So I think
mm,
those are some like questions that I would think about top of my mind. But
mm,
also choosing tools that work with your existing tech stack, right? Like just choosing tools that integrate with your tech stack, and
mm,
having different solutions and software that talk to each other, that
mm,
have those efficiencies where
mm,
it flows and automates a lot of your workflows, instead of being
mm,
standalone. I think that goes a long way.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. This is for the audience, so if you have questions, you can just put in a chat and, we'll try to pick it up, as and when, or maybe at the end of the session. So, and if you want to ask a specific question to the guest, you can mention that. Okay. All right. Coming to the next thing is, there's a silent debate going on, whether AI versus people, or whether automation versus offshoring, or whether you replace things with AI or augment with AI, right? So, what's your view on this, Ben?
Yeah. What I'd say is like there's so much that a human does. Um,
Hmm,
like it's funny, everyone talks about oh you move the goalposts, right? Like if
hmm,
someone told you in 2020 what an AI was
hmm.
able to do in 2026, you'd be like, okay, of course we don't need humans anymore, right? Like we've solved the problem. And it turns out there's
Hmm,
so many things that you need humans for. And in one sense you can talk about that as like moving the
hmm,
goalposts. But in another sense you can
hmm,
talk about it as like it's
hmm,
actually the depth of what a human does in a job
hmm,
is really
hmm,
like it goes really, really deep. Um,
hmm,
and so getting to the point where you're fully replacing humans
hmm,
with AI is like it strikes me as less likely to be like it's less grounded in what we're seeing today.
hmm,
What we see is like the decision of whether you're gonna like hire humans or hire AI is more often it's like best addressed by just growing. So like as you
hmm,
grow, you
hmm,
maybe if you previously had like a 1 to 10 accountant
hmm,
per client ratio, maybe that as you
hmm.
grow, that
Yeah,
grows from 1 to 10 to 1 to 12 to 1 to 15 to
yeah,
1 to 20. And in virtue like
yes.
by doing that, you get more efficient. I
Hmm,
see that much like working much more commonly, and we see that internally in our data
hmm,
much more often
hmm,
than like someone went
hmm,
from 10 users to 5 users because they
hmm.
like fired someone and then fired another someone and then fired another.
Yeah,
Like the
hmm,
going up and getting more efficient, I just see as happening much more
hmm,
common than going down.
yeah. Even at FinSmart, we see that, because a lot of people come with saying that, okay, with AI, how the things are going to change. And, we ourselves are using a lot of AI tools, and, we are also looking at creating an AI-enabled humans, so in a way, AI-enabled accountants, so it's going to be a hybrid model, right? So as you said that, previously somebody was handling 10 clients, maybe with the AI usage, their accuracy will increase, efficiency will increase. They might handle 12 or 13 clients, and over the years, things will change. But tell me one thing that with the AI coming in, do you see that humans needs to have now a different kind of a skill sets? Because though like David, you said that uh, that one of the staff who was kind of doing a lot of meeting notes, now she's free for the another kind of a higher level work, okay, but does he or she would have those skill sets, how to build over there, and what do you do with the existing workforce? Your efficiency might increase, but how do you develop a skill sets within the people to do a higher order work?
Yep. I think I don't know if this one was directed at David or myself. I'm happy to
I
take
mean,
it.
anybody
Okay.
can take it.
I think it's funny how similar it is. It's like the people who are great in the world, in the pre-AI world, will continue to be great in
uh,
the post-AI world. Like the people who are
hmm,
like mediocre performers may get crushed. Like
hmm,
if you were just kind of, I just want to get through the day and do the work that's on my plate,
hmm,
and not think about getting any better, that
hmm,
is increasingly a less tenable like attitude to have as an individual contributor,
hmm,
because if you take advantage of the tools, you can be so much more efficient that
hmm,
that like I think the sort of natural constitution, the balance of like what employees do you
hmm,
find continue in a company over time,
hmm,
will shift to more of the people who are already successful, who are like in the
hmm,
pre-AI world, it's like, oh, I'm gonna use Zapier to automate this flow, or I'm gonna use Double to help with
hmm,
my file reviews, or I'm gonna use
hmm,
I'm gonna like just try out the new tech that like I think those people will find that they are rewarded for having tried out the new thing,
hmm,
in being much more efficient. I think it's an attitude shift more than anything. But yeah, that's what we see.
hmm. David, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I love this quote that I think a lot about, where, this quote of like the future is here, but it's not evenly distributed, right? Meaning like,
Hmm,
like AI is here and there's
hmm,
all these amazing technology. But to
hmm,
your point, you need people that are curious, right? Like curiosity on
hmm,
whether you want
hmm,
to dive into the tools and explore, and to your
hmm,
to Ben's point, like just test out new solutions and be curious and see, if it delivers impact for the firm. And I think
hmm,
just pausing and also just like reframing on like, can I do things differently? And, put your head up
hmm,
high, and
hmm,
instead of like in the books in Excel, and, question every step, every process on like, oh, yeah, how can I apply AI in this situation? I mean, we do that
hmm,
ourselves, and I'd say it's that's a hard part even for us to unlearn processes, right? On
hmm,
how we've always done things for the last many years, and in that moment, like how can we use some of these new tools to do things differently? And I think the beauty is we're all learning. I think we're all figuring out, and that's
hmm,
why we have sessions like this to kind of learn together, which is
hmm,
great.
hmm. Sure. Yeah. Let me take a couple of questions, that is coming in the chat. So, Tracy, she's asking, how do you keep up with which model to use, whether Chat GPT, Claude, etc. How do you select on that?
I randomly choose between the three of them. So I have paid subscriptions to Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude.
Hmm,
And it changes from month to month. What I will say is right
hmm,
now, and
hmm,
we run these tests also. Like for us, we run tests internally and we can see like which models are the best at handling different problems. And what I would say is
hmm,
for the hardest, most painful accounting problem, I would use Claude
hmm,
Opus 4.6 right now.
hmm,
It is the
hmm,
one that is the most capable model that we see in solving really, really tough problems. Not every problem is
hmm,
really tough. So
hmm,
like when if it's just like look something up on the internet, they're all pretty
hmm,
capable.
hmm,
And so that's like pick whichever model you like to default to. But if you have a really
hmm,
hard problem,
hmm,
I would just use all three models.
hmm. So she says, I do the same thing, lol.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I went through my ChatGPT breakup a few months ago, and it hurt. I thought I'd be a bit more loyal to ChatGPT, but I think over the last 2, 3 months, I went from ChatGPT to Gemini when Gemini launched a lot of the image generation thing, which just was wild with Nano Banana, and then
Hmm,
recently, yeah, I actually moved the whole company all in on Claude, and
hmm,
yeah, to Ben's point, 4.6, and what you can do
hmm,
with like Claude Co-work
hmm,
now is
hmm,
amazing. I think just like the efficiencies you get with Excel, with PowerPoint, with
hmm,
Word document
hmm,
generation and editing those platforms is amazing. So yeah, I've tried all three over the last few months, but it's not easy. It almost does its own round every month. You probably switch to a new one. But
hmm,
yeah, we're probably gonna stick with Claude for a little while and see where that goes.
Sure. There's another question from Chirag. So I think this is to me. So how FinSmart can help with AI implementation? So uh, it's a good question. So basically, I mean, we are tech agnostic and we use pretty much, almost every tool that is there because we have over hundreds of accounting firms that we manage, right? So, and in terms of AI implementation is, since we have the internal champions who are working on maybe Double, maybe Carbon, maybe Canopy and stuff like that. So we pretty much know like what are the features that are there. So we educate our clients on to, what they can use in terms of increasing the efficiency, and then we really help them to see if they can implement this. We also have like a workflow seat, where we really help to set up the workflows and do the implementation of practice management for our clients. So that really helps. And of course, we have an AI team inside, so who keeps researching about what are the new things in AI coming, and wherever we see there is an kind of an deployment. I mean, we use that. So, say for example, like Double, we use for a lot of cleanup jobs. So when any cleanup clients comes, first we run the assessment, and then it really helps to make an efficient way to do the cleanup jobs. So this is just one use case. So there are many such use cases. So that's how we really help. Uh, okay. Going ahead, so what about the risk and governance? So if AI makes a mistake, who owns it? David, you want to take this up?
Yeah, this is a great question, and I mean that's why I think the notion of empowering accountants and
Mm,
is definitely the right approach. And that's what Ben with Double and I like. That's what we're focused on is really
mm,
empowering the accountants, empowering the human to do more with less. And I think it's interesting.
mm,
I think you have some new AI startups these days like trying
mm,
to
mm,
replace accountants or trying to build their own accounting
mm,
firms, right? And
mm,
go down
mm,
that approach of like, what is this future world without
mm,
accountants? But I think for us, like the accountant still plays a very important role around the liability aspect, to your point. And
mm,
I think
mm,
just signing off documents and signing off,
mm,
tax returns, audit opinions, and so forth. Like to my knowledge, AI can't do that yet, and it'd be interesting if we can ever get to that point. I think, and maybe I doubt we'll ever get to that point. And I think, at least in the accounting industry, like human in the loop is probably the best approach. And like, how do you empower the accountant
sure. Mm,
for them to do a better job and to work on the high value tasks and not a lot of that manual, boring administrative work. So yeah, I'd
mm,
say like the human still plays a really important role in that aspect. And yeah, the liability aspect, I think that's why every AI output, you just need to double check, triple check. I know a lot of
mm,
accountants are using a lot of like AI tax research tools now, and a lot of that
mm,
output could be incorrect, right? So you probably do want to
mm.
like just triple check a lot of those outputs before advising your clients. So yeah, I think that's probably the approach in the near future, at least for the next few years.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I like your point of human in the loop, right? I mean, so that will probably never go away. So Even if AI is powerful, but accounting will always require some judgment, some oversight, and accountability. So,
Mm.
human in the loop would really, help to kind of, cover this. Um, so we come to the next and the last round of this webinar. We call it a rapid fire. Okay. So we'll uh, ask you, four questions, and you could quickly reply onto that, very briefly. So every technology cycle begins with a hype, but the winners are those who find the practical use cases. So the first question is one AI use case every firm should test this year. This is to both of you. Okay, you can start, Ben, and then maybe David.
Um, I think so. It's a like if there's one that everyone should test this year, it's AI bank feeds. Like every single person spends tons of time on bank feeds, and AI can solve. I won't say 100% of the problem, but 95% of the problem.
Yeah, David.
The bias answer is note taking. Yeah, it's funny, but I think yeah, that's a bias answer. But also, like, it does deliver a lot of value. Like the non-bias is like,
Mm,
I don't
mm,
think humans are
mm,
great at it. This is one task you can definitely get AI to really empower on. I think that and I think a bit on the tax research part is super exciting as
mm,
well.
mm. So one use case that's very overrated.
Hmm. Um, I hate to say this, but I think vibe coding. Vibe coding is a little overrated. I think it turns out like most of what's hard for us in shipping code is not like
Mm,
shipping what's called the happy path, which
mm,
is the way the thing is supposed to work if your users use it like you expect them to. The hard thing is
mm,
like the 1 million edge cases there's a line that I like, which is reality has a surprising amount of detail. And so
mm,
most of what we do in refining our product is like the n plus first like horrible edge case thing that we have to
mm,
solve that either we didn't anticipate or like some new customer came to us with. And
mm,
that's less amenable to being vibe coded as like de novo from the ground up.
mm,
So I think it has great potential, but maybe today a little bit overrated.
mm. David.
Great question. I think for me, I haven't tested all the latest tools yet, but as an
Mm,
ex-tax accountant and doing a lot of tax returns, yeah, I think some companies that promise like end-to-end, tax filing automation or auto populating
mm,
tax return, yeah, that'll be interesting. There's a lot of nuances in that, and also like
mm,
if you file something incorrectly, you could be in trouble. So yeah, probably something around that space
mm,
is
mm,
probably a bit overrated at the moment.
mm. One capability of AI that a firm owners should try personally.
Um, I think AI flux analysis. This is a part of our product, but it basically will read your P&L, will investigate at the vendor level and then the transaction level, and will return a summary of what happened in the business this month. The
Mm,
reason this is like one of the ones where I'm like, oh no, maybe I'm wrong about everything. Maybe AI is going to take all our jobs. Is it works so well that there is no way I
mm,
could improve on its output. Like it just works
okay.
100%. It
Mm,
works perfectly. It produces output
wow.
that is like I
Mm,
couldn't do any better than the output that AI produces. So that's one that
mm,
I would absolutely try out
mm,
because it's one
mm,
that having personally seen the outputs, it is
mm,
at or above human level.
mm. David.
I'd probably say a lot of the AI in Excel, like using Claude in Excel as an add-on
Mm,
or using Cowork
mm,
to generate work papers or anything to do with
mm,
Excel work, is
mm,
mind-blowing. I mean, I
mm,
transparently, even myself, over the last month, I think I created a 2-year projection and forecast of Abercore using Claude Cowork, and
mm,
it was insane. It was so good. Like yeah, it was like five tabs in the Excel that came out. The every cell had like a formula. There was like yellow highlighted cells where you could manually input
mm,
and
mm,
change assumptions. I think just
mm,
getting your hands dirty in some of these Excel AI tools, which is amazing. I mean, I was never a great Excel wizard. I didn't memorize. I wasn't great with my macros and all that. So I think like just using natural
mm.
language to be better
Yeah.
with Excel and
Mm,
automate Excel
yeah.
is just mind blowing from
Mm,
my perspective.
mm. And we come to the last question. So 12 months from now, what will look very, very obvious?
Hmm. Um, 12 months from now, agents will clearly work for some use cases. Like 12 months from now, a lot of people are using agents in ways that are like
Mm,
dangerous and irresponsible, and they don't like work enough where you would like deploy them in enterprise today with like no guardrails the way you would hire a human. Um,
mm.
but 12 months from now, they will.
David, what do you think?
Yeah, my quick answer. I think what's been interesting in this AI transformation is a lot of the initial use cases. The key benefits have been around like industries that are very text heavy, right? Like legal, like coding, where it's really text heavy, and the notion has always been it's not great with numbers yet. And that's why accountants have maybe not adopted a lot of AI solutions because AI hasn't been great with numbers yet, but I'd say in definitely less than a year, I think a lot of that gap in Notion will disappear.
Yeah.
AI will be
Mm,
great with and text will be great with numbers, will be great with all different ways. So yeah, I think that's probably my answer
mm,
to that.
mm. Thank you so much. So I think what I get is that AI may not replace humans, but the firms that learn to augment intelligently will for sure thrive and outperform a lot of other firms, to be competitive. And I think thank you, gentlemen, for spending time with us. And I think we covered a lot in this, whatever, 45, 50 minutes. So right from AI in practice management to note taking to and one point I really liked, which you said that pick a solution that solves a problem for you. There's no need to rush into something, right? And I think that is a very, very valid point because with a lot of plethora, you sometimes get overwhelmed by things, so you have to just take it a little easy and kind of a go. And also, we talked about choosing a tech stack that integrates in your business and automates your workflow. That really goes a long way. Um, and agents will work great in the next 12 months. That's something we look for. So AI uh, will be great at numbers, will be great at analysis, and really improve our efficiency. So I think it was a very, very interesting conversation. Ben and David, thank you for being with us here. And I'm sure our audience would have at least got some idea as to where AI is going in terms of the accounting space. And it was really great to converse with you guys. Thank you so much.